I'm a very creative type of person. So doing something almost robotic where you do the same thing every single day, it was driving me
Yeah,
nuts.
I don't like that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, when you're unhappy in the work that you do, it eventually bleeds into your personal life,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like you can only hold on to that for so long. So in that quest, I remember, my husband and I got into an argument and I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what our parents warned us about, that we were going to have hard time financially and that, getting married young is not a good idea. All the fears that I had about doing this was just showing up in my face. And at that moment, I realized I have two choices. It's either I leave this marriage or I make it work. And I was not just someone that, would just give up on a person, especially a marriage. You're committed to
Yeah.
this marriage, right? And so we made it work and we spoke about it, found out the root of why we were frustrated, we were angry, we were sad about the life that we were living, and we started talking about our vision, where what we really hoped for when we got married, what our dreams were. We started to rekindle the dreams that we had as individuals and now combining them as a married couple and figuring out together, okay, how can we make that happen? Because our marriage doesn't have to be the end of our dreams, right? And so from then on, fast forward a year later from that conversation, we ended up leaving our warehouse job and I started just diving deep into how to get out of debt. So we left that job with no debt, eventually got into more debt because I didn't have a job waiting for me when I quit that job. But hey, you're young, we didn't have
Yeah.
kids, and you're a little bit more bold and
Yeah.
crazy. So we took that leap and my husband eventually got into insurance. He started earning commission. He was really good at it, excelled so quickly in his career in the insurance industry. And here I was, really trying to understand the root of our finances. And I researched, how in the world do I get out of debt? And, back in the day, blogs were so popular. And I found this Canadian who was talking about how to get out of debt, started following him, and he started talking about online, earning money online. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this a scam? It wasn't very popular back then.
No, it wasn't.
No. So I remember he was selling this course for $30 on how to publish books on Amazon because that's how he was earning money online. And I said, okay, $30 back then was like, oh my God, that's like a lot of money for me, especially when you're in debt and you don't have income coming in, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Look, this is how I shifted my perspective. When I go and eat, let's say at even a fast food restaurant, I easily spend $30. So I just considered it money gone. I'm going to invest in this. And if it's fake, if I get scammed, whatever, lesson learned. So I invested in that course. I think it was like $36 or whatever. Actually followed it to the T. And then I started earning like $2, $5 on Amazon Kindle. And I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is for real. And that was basically the start of my journey into, diving deep into how can I make this an ongoing income earner for me? How can I actually earn money? How can I do what he's doing? Being a coach and just improving yourself and helping others along the way. So that's my story of how I got started in this whole online gig.
Oh man, that's a good story. The thing about marriage is there's no blueprint. There's no like
Mm-mm.
book. There's no like classes. I think a lot. Yeah, baby. Yo, it's official. Like a referee with a whistle. Like, share this episode. That was Paige Ray. Paige is good money, yo. She's good money. I gotta bring her back on the podcast soon. I wanted to wait until the holidays. So holidays is over. I gotta bring Paige back on. She's from the Philippines, by the way. So Paige is good money. She actually lives in the Philippines. She moved from she was born in the Philippines, raised in Canada, and now her and her husband and the kids moved back to the Philippines like 2 years ago, I want to say. Well, Paige is good money. She's good money, man. You know, she's good money. She's she's a good person, you know. So I gotta bring her back on, you know. Gotta bring her back on. It's been too long. You know, it's been too long. So you know, this episode goes out to all them hoes that be talking online about nothing, basically. You know. And that so I think I have to tell my perspective on how things used to be when I was growing up, and why you shouldn't pay what happens online. You can't take a lot of these people serious. You know, you really can't. And I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. But before I get into that, check this out. Sometimes I forget about this. Sometimes, but you know, I'm gonna share my screen. Check out don't forget to check out the gear. I actually have the hell? Oh, there it is. If you go to my channel and if you click on actually, oh well. What the hell? That's kind of weird. But actually if you go to my channel, if you click on the store tab, this is where that's kind of weird. Oh well. Get that out of the way. Oh, I hate when that happens. You know, that only happens with this computer. That's why I gotta get my old computer fixed. New is new, but new don't work the same. I'm learning. So yeah, if you go to my channel and click on the store tab, this is where you find the cups, gear, and all that good stuff. And this just happened to be my favorite right here. This is my favorite right here. And I actually have it on right now as we speak. You know, I actually have it on right now. I got it on right now as we speak. You know, this is my favorite. You know, God is great, but respect is better. Church. You know? So yeah, you can get it in I like black. I like black. White. Not white don't work so well. Black. Mostly black. Black works better. You know. Black, red, uh, blue. But I like black better, you know. But yeah, so that's where you get that at. And don't forget about the books. That's on Amazon.com. Matter of fact, uh, let's see. I'll do it one more time. You know, new don't mean yeah. These are my books. I have 3 books. Some people say you got 5, 6. No, hell no. Only got 3. That's it. Boss Life Secrets, Chicken's Guide, Having Women Beg for You, Sex, Lust, and Lies, and Love Can't Wait. That's all I got, you know. I don't have no, you know, I don't have no no other books. I only got 3 of them. That's it, you know. So a lot of people been asking me, "Oh, you wrote like 5, 6, 7 paperbacks?" No, I only wrote 3 paperbacks. Now I wrote some ebooks, but they're not. I don't even. They're not even out in public. The ebooks that I used to have, you know. So that's it when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when I was growing up, where I'm from, you know, a lot of women, them hoes, they didn't really have no say so in anything. A lot of these women you see online when I was growing up, they didn't have no opinion. Nobody cared about what these types of women online were thinking. These women that you see online today, when I was growing up, they would call them home wreckers. And even if them home wrecking women got out of pocket, there would always be a woman around to check their ass, which you don't have a lot of women checking other women today, like they did when I was growing up, and which is part of the problem that you see today online. And nobody cared about what them hoes were saying, but all of a sudden, I'm gonna say late, I'm gonna say early, I'm gonna say mid 90s. Mid 90s, there was like a shift within the mainstream media. And I saw it in the mid 90s. What happened is a lot of them hoes started getting jobs. And these reporters and producers, I should say, started putting the microphone into them hoes' face and asking them questions like they represent all black women or some shit like that. This started happening in the mid 90s. You know, it started, I'm gonna say mid 90s. Now it's certain people always had they were always in the media, like these church folks or whatever. But even some of them church folks, my parents, they didn't really take them serious. And the people around where I'm talking to people around where I live. I can only speak from where I live and how I grew up. I can't talk about New York City. I can't talk about LA. I can only talk about where I'm from. Because where I'm from is a very unique place. Some people call us Geechee. I'm from Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area. We're the Geechee people. We're the people that Tariq Nasheed is talking about in his new documentary that he got coming out. We're the people that he's talking about. And it's a very unique place, and there's no place like home. I know that's a cliche statement that a lot of people like to make, but there's no place like home. There's no place where I'm from across the country. There's no place like that. It's the last, and I grew up around a lot of black people. When I grew up, it was just blacks, whites, handful of Koreans, Vietnamese, Chinese, There were no Mexicans when I was growing up. There were no Puerto Ricans. There were nobody from it was a handful of Nigerians. There wasn't a lot of foreigners like that when I was growing up. It wasn't like that. It was blacks and whites. That was it. That was the majority. Now, the mid 90s is when that shift started. That's when they started letting a bunch of foreigners in. And I went in the military in 90. Well, I went to college, 94. And I didn't come back home for like a year when I went to college. And that's when I saw more and more foreigners started coming in. And 96 is when I went in the military. And I was gone for 2 years and I came back home in 98. When I came back home in 98, that's when my town was flooded with foreigners everywhere. You know, that's when I'm talking like, I didn't know where these damn people came from. When I grew up, I never heard of a Puerto Rican. I didn't know, I didn't ever heard of a Puerto Rican. I didn't know what the hell, Puerto Rican? What the hell, wait, where the hell are you from? Puerto Rico. Where the hell that at? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know, you know. Now I heard of Jamaicans, people from the islands, but I never heard of a Puerto Rican before. I never heard of a Cuban, you know. Now, well, I heard of the Cubans because they were on TV a lot. They used to talk about Miami a lot and the cocaine back in the day. So I heard of the Cubans, you know, but it wasn't a lot of, I'm from a small town. It wasn't a whole lot of people around like that. Now today shit has changed, you know. So I grew up in a conservative town with conservative values. Not a liberal town, not at all. You know, it was one gay person that was out of the closet. And he lived down the street and everybody knew who he was. And he died of AIDS in the 90s. He died of AIDS in the 90s. And he was the only gay guy that was openly gay. He was a flamer at the time. So it's not a liberal town at all. You know, matter of fact, most of South Carolina is red. South Carolina is a red state. Yeah, most South Carolina is a red state. It ain't a lot of liberal. No, no, ain't too much of that shit going on. You have to go to Columbia before you start seeing some shit like that, where it's people openly gay and no. Yeah, when you get past Columbia, things start to change drastically. You know, you start to see rebel flags and that's different type of shit out there. It's a different world out there. But through all of that, you know, the hoes started to get jobs in the mid 90s. And all of a sudden, the law started changing. I started hearing guys start saying, hey man, I'm on child support. Child support? What the hell is that? You know? And I felt like a lot of women started not getting checked like they used to. Cause mid 90s, I'm 19, 20, 20 years old. Women wasn't really checking a lot of women like they used to. Because when them hoes started getting jobs, they on television now. They're talking like they're representing all the black women in across the country. And of course that wasn't the case. you know. Now, in our town, a lot of them women would get a lot of pushback. You know, when I was growing up, everybody knew who was the neighborhood hoe. It wasn't what's understood. Then don't have to be said. Everybody knew who Mama was a hoe when I was growing up. You didn't have to say, hey, you didn't have to talk about it. We knew what time it was. Your daddy down the street. You know what I'm saying? You know, your mom ain't married, ain't never been married, and ain't ever gonna get married. But your dad down the street. Your dad come over once a week, see how y'all doing or whatever. And that's how it was. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was. But nobody paid attention to them hoes. You know, the guys, only time a guy paid attention to a hoe is when he wanted to fuck. That's how it was. The women didn't have time to pay attention to them hoes. You know why? Because the women were taking care of their families. That's why. They were taking care of their kids and their husbands. They ain't got time to be talking to them. The only time I would see my mom talking to some of these home wreckers was when they went to church. See, the church is like a haven for hoes. The church is full up with hoes. Still to this day. That's why if you go to the church, that's probably the easiest place besides the nightclub to smash. You know, it's still because you got these women up in there. They flirting with the pastor. You know, it's always been that way. You know what I'm saying? It's always been that way. The women, them hoes, has been always flirting with the pastors, and the pastors, he be knocking them out the park, boy. Now everybody know this now. This is not like a big secret or something like that, but it just people don't talk about it because what's understood don't have to be spoken. Don't have to be talked about. My mom knew it. My dad knew it. As a matter of fact, my mom and dad used to go to separate churches. They used to take turns. One Sunday they go to this church. Next Sunday they go to my dad's church. Because they grew up in different communities, right? So every church was the same. All full of hoes. At least 70, 80%, you know. And the rest of them women were married. But see, a lot of married women can't go to church every Sunday because they got kids, you know, especially if they got little kids. Now some of them would bring their kids to church sometimes, but not every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Them hoes, most of them, some had kids, some of them didn't. You know how it is. Some of them take care of the kids, some of them don't. It's the same old bull. Some of them will drop the kids off the mama house or the sister house, or some of them probably still stay with the parents along with the kids. That's how it was. You know what I'm saying? But nobody really paid attention to them. Nobody really cared about what a whole thing. Now today, I don't understand this shit, but it seems like a lot of dudes care about what these types of women think, which don't make no sense to me. And what they can't do nothing. They can't stop you from doing nothing. You can't stop me from doing nothing. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing for the past, I don't know, 10 years. I ain't gonna stop, regardless of what somebody on the internet might think of me or where I choose to travel or go or visit or whatever or live. So it just amazes me, like, you know. But see, these women started getting corporate jobs, and now all of a sudden, you know, they sleep their way to the top of the corporate, up in the corporate ladder. You know, They're willing, see them hoes, they're willing to do whatever it takes to get a job and keep a job. See the average woman with morals and values ain't really on the job like that. They'll work them jobs, but the family's first. See, family's first to a woman that has kids and a husband and she cares about the family. Family's first. They're not about they ain't gonna if they see every job a woman gets on, at some point she's gonna have to make a decision. Is it the job or the family? And any woman with just a little bit of common sense that has a family, she's going to pick the family. Family's first. See, family has always been priority. Family's always been first. But today, things have shifted so badly, in my opinion. And see, these hoes, they ain't not thinking about family. They're thinking about themselves because they're not fit for marriage in the first place. Yeah. So that's why when you see a woman talking about her lifestyle and traveling and going to the club every week and drinking and smoking and getting high, that's not wifey material. That she belonged to the streets. You know, that's not that woman don't represent black women. I don't have no black women in my family that act like that. Like these women online, women in my family don't talk crazy like that. Nah, not in my family, man. Now there's always some knuckleheads, of course, but ain't no family perfect. But my aunts and my sisters, they don't act like these hoes online, man. My sis, check this out. No woman in my family, my sisters, aunts, they don't got no weave, bro. And that might be hard for you to believe. They don't got no weave. They got their real hair. My mom never wore weave in her life. My mom, her sisters, my sisters, they don't wear that shit. They don't wear no weave. They might get a perm every once in a while. They don't wear no weave. They don't get no damn. They don't dye their hair. They don't do none of that shit. That shit is kind of foreign to me. What I just started seeing women braiding their hair. No, not braiding their hair, but dyeing their hair until I went in the military. That's when I started seeing a lot of that. Now, when I went to college, I saw a little bit of that. But when I went in the military and I went to Chicago and California, that's when I started seeing bitches' hair red, blue, blonde. What type of weirdo degenerate shit is this? This shit ain't normal. And the weave, everybody wearing extensions now. Everybody, all the women, every group wearing extensions now in North America. It used to be, it started with the entertainers having extensions. That's how that shit really started. And then the black women started with the damn extension. And now all of a sudden, every woman, damn near every group of women, they open it up. The hair business is booming. You know, somebody was like, hey, we need to open this up to everybody besides the celebrities, you know, because that's who used to have extensions and wear wigs and all that shit back in the day. It was these celebrities and entertainers. They used to be on television. This is like in the 60s and 70s. And probably before that, before I was born. This is when TV was black and white. You know what I'm talking about? That's how it was, you know? And somebody was like, hey, we can make this affordable for everybody. We can get some money. There's a market for this. And that's exactly what happened. All of a sudden, shit, everybody was like, hey, I want some too. You know, I'll donate my hair. You know, so is that somebody made, I don't know who it was, maybe the Koreans. I'm not sure. But I think the Koreans got the hair business on lock, if I'm not mistaken. You know, but you know, that's how it was, man. You know, things. See, the women that should get to shine because they're doing the work. They're taking care of their families and their husbands. They don't get they don't put them on television. They put the weirdos, freaks, and degenerates on television. And they're the ones gotta represent for all the black women on television. You got them big old wide backs on television, doing the talking, and she got her OnlyFans page, and oh, this is she represents black women in America, and she's a damn foreigner. She got foreign appearance. You know, that's what you got out here. That's what you see online. Some of these people you think they're born and raised here. Nah, they ain't from here. Their parents from someplace else, man. But she represents, she speaks for all black women. She speaks for all black people. You know, that's what's going on now. That's the trick. That's the trick bag that they the mainstream media and these media outlets put us in. You know, but if you don't understand the game, you fall for it. You'd be like, black women this, black women that. These motherfuckers, these motherfuckers ain't no black women. They foreigners, man. 90%. 90%. And another thing, these celebrities, they weren't talking back then. These celebrities today, like they talking today online and on television, the only time a celebrity will talk is if they were talking about new music or whatever a movie coming out or some shit like that. Celebrities today talk about everything. They weren't doing that shit in the 70s and 80s and early 90s. That shift, it started in the mid 90s. You didn't have no celebrity talking about business or talking about what's going on in the country. Hell no. No. At one point, I remembered when the celebrities came on YouTube. I remember when they started coming on YouTube. The rappers, I remember when they started. I remember at one point, there were no rappers and entertainers on YouTube. They weren't on it at all. They weren't doing no videos. They weren't doing none of that shit. In order to, and back in the day, in order to see an entertainer, you would have to see him at the show or being interviewed on TV, like MTV, BT, some shit like that. But today, how you go online and see your favorite rapper being interviewed? That shit wasn't like that. No, You can send them an email or in the DMs. They might answer. You didn't have access to rappers and singers and ball players like that. And they didn't ask no ball player about, hey, what you think about OJ? Man, they didn't ask them no fools no shit like that back in the day. Nobody cared. Nobody cared to hear about some entertainer or athlete's opinion on what was going on in society at the time. That shit started in the 90s. Things have changed drastically over the years. You have these people, they speaking for us now. They got to represent for us. Well, they don't represent for me. They don't represent me. Because I don't put them on a pedestal, and I never wanted to be like none of these damn entertainers and ball players. I don't give a damn how much money they make. I never wanted to be like none of them. I never wanted to be like Michael Jordan. I'm sorry. I never wanted to be like Michael Jordan. I never wanted to be like Mike. I never wanted to be like Patrick Ewing. I never wanted to be like Scottie Pippen. Nah, man. Nah, I never wanted to be like 50 Cent. I mean, he's not that old, but I'm just saying, you know. I never wanted to be like Eazy-E. Rest in peace. Eazy-E was a real one. He was a real one. But I never wanted to be like him. I never wanted to be a dope boy, you know. Nah. We glorify a lot of these dope boys. We glorify the things that we shouldn't glorify. Dope boys, criminals. They interview them when they get out of jail. What type of shit is that, man? You got hoes and dope boys that get out of jail, and they get interviewed. They get book deals. They might did 10, 20 years, and they get out of jail, they get book deals. They get money when they get out of jail. And you sitting around here, you can barely make $40,000 a year. They get a book deal for what? $100,000. They get them $100,000 up front for a book deal. 2 books. And he just got out of jail 6 months ago. He's being interviewed all over damn near all over these networks in California or Texas, somewhere. Fox. You got Fox. You got, who else you got? BET. They glorify these damn people. They get all the shine, and the women that's doing what they're supposed to be doing ain't getting no shine. As a matter, check this out. A lot of women that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, taking care of their family, they don't want nothing to do with the internet. They don't want nothing to do with it. You know why? Because a lot of these women, they work jobs. And the job that they work is waiting for a reason to get rid of their ass. And the internet is the first place they look. Yeah, the internet is the first place that they're looking to get rid of a lot of these women that work these jobs. You know, it's unfortunate, but that's how it is. So a lot of these women don't. And see, most of the good women that I know, they don't last long out in these streets. They get wifed up in the 20s. Most of the good women can't pass the 20s. They can't get past it. I'm sorry. They can't get past the 30s. They can't get past 30. They get snatched up. And even a woman that maybe I'll give you an example. I know a woman that's her husband died. She's a widow, right? She ain't stayed single long. She got married again. she got married again. So the good women don't stay on the streets long. They don't. You know what I'm saying? Most of the good women get wifed up. You know, even the biggest fool, a guy, even if he's a fool, he know that, hey, okay, this is I can't let her go. You know what I'm saying? I know some guys are straight up idiots, but they have enough sense to realize a good woman when they see him, and they don't want to let her go. You know, the women that, you know, once they get past 35, I'm gonna say 40. When a woman get past 40, man, you kind of getting the leftovers. You know, you might get lucky. Because if she ain't never been married before, no kids. My mom used to tell me this. My grandmother used to say, if the woman is past 35, never been married, no long-term relationship, something's wrong with this bitch. That's what they used to say back. That's what they used to say when I was growing up. Hey, something wrong with this bitch. Never had a long-term relationship, never been married. It's something wrong with her. And today, that's still staying to this day. You know? Yeah. So, you know, a lot of old people, man, they knew what they were talking about. It was a different time, but the game's still the same. The game's still the same. It is, people don't change very much. They get worse. But for the most part, they don't get better. Because it's the same environment. And I haven't seen much change in 25 years. The same shit happened when I was 25, same shit happening today. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too much change. The weather might change a little bit, but people still the same. Or worse. In some ways, shit ain't got better. People today are easiest to fool. Today, they're easiest to fool. It used to be where you had to con or scam a motherfucker. But today, you ain't got to con or scam most people. You can walk in a room and say exactly what's on your mind, and most of the people, they'll lay down, man. They'll lay down because most guys, unfortunately, and this is my age group. I'm talking my age group in the 40s. Most guys that I know in the 40s, they're cowards. They're cowards. And that's partially the reason why women get away with a lot of stuff that they do, because the guys are cowards today. This is my age group now. Now, the young guys that's in the 20s, like 22, 23, 25, they got heart. They're not scared of nothing. You know? But I would say a lot of the young guys that's in the early 20s, they want to do something. A lot of them want to do something, but they just don't know how to do it. And then you have a lot of them, the young kids, they figure the shit out, but they have to make a lot of mistakes before they figure it out, unfortunately, because they weren't taught. Their parents didn't teach them shit. Unfortunately, we left a lot of these young cats hanging out here, man. But they got heart. They're not cowards. They're not afraid of anything. Now, the guys my age, most of them motherfuckers are cowards. You know, they cowards, man. You know, they scared of everything. Scared of the wife, scared of the boss at the job, scared of the pastor at the church, scared of a damn dog, scared of a rat, can't change the tire. You know, it's like, God damn, dude, you just are no good for nothing, ain't you? No, 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 no. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, dudes can't change a tire, bro. Motherfucker like 42 years old don't know nothing about it. I'm not saying you gotta be a fucking mechanic, but you should know what's wrong with your car. You should know how to change a tire. I'm not saying you should do it, but you should know how to do it just in case. You know what I'm saying? These dudes, man. Whew. Dudes don't stand for anything. I mean, man, even some of the women don't stand for anything. There's a lot of women out here men and women are very passive. You don't really know where they stand. It's kind of like they just go with the flow. What the hell does that mean? Go with the flow. What, go with the flow for on what? You should, if you sit down with me, you talk to me, you're gonna know where I stand. And it's no goddamn, I don't know where you stand with this, or I don't know how you think. You gonna know how I think. You talk to me, you gonna know exactly what, you won't be confused when you talk to me. But a lot of these people today, they're passive. You don't know where they stand. You ask them what they want. Well, oh no, they'll tell you what they don't want. They can't tell you what they want. Man, I don't know, man. I'm looking for 50, pay 50, man. You know what I'm saying, man? I don't know. If you talking to the women, same thing. I want a 50-50, man. I don't want a guy telling me, being controlling and telling me I can't hang with my friends and, just dumb, superficial, childish type shit. I mean, it's nothing about, you're not going to hear anything about family. It's always about something else. Oh, I'm focused on my lifestyle. I want to travel. And travel where? And then you ask them, hey, where you travel so far? They ain't travel no fucking where. They just aspire to do it. Because they can't do it, because they ain't got the money to do it. They want to do it on your money. Get your ass out of here. So that's what you're gonna meet most of the time out here. You got people that aspire to do a lot of things, and they haven't even gotten started. I'm like, come on, man. So that's what you got out here. People in my age bracket. See, a lot of these people, unlike the younger people, a lot of people in my age group, they're broken. They're broken, and a lot of them just kiss ass. They'll do, and money is always like, a lot of them are willing to do anything for money too, by the way. See, I'm not willing to do anything for money. No, I'm not willing to slave away for money. No. You can't see, and this is how a lot of us get jammed up, because people will use that against you. They do that in the music business a lot. In the music business, the thing that they do now is they get you to sign a deal. They give you I think it's a Range Rover. It used to be a Cadillac. I think today it's a Range. And it used to be a white woman, but I think it's an Asian girl now. That's how it used to be. If you sign with us, they give you a white woman and a Range Rover. And they're taking all your publishing. That's how it is. Like, I think 10 years ago, it used to be, I think about 15 years ago, it used to be a Lexus and an Asian girl. Yeah, that's a part of the deal. That's how it was, man. And that's how a lot of, so as long as they get you high and drunk, they keep you high and drunk, that's how they rob you. You know what I'm saying? See, if I was a scammer, I know how to scam most guys out their money. All you got to do is keep them high, drunk, and give them a white woman. Oh yeah, it's over then. Yeah, that's the formula right there. White women, alcohol, a little bit of weed. Oh, he gone. It's over. I can get anything out of him. I can get him to sign anything. He get turned the fuck out. Woo! It's over, baby. We got him now. We taking him for everything. Yeah, if I was a scammer, you know, I ain't no scammer. But if I was, I know how to get it out of you. I know how to get you to do damn near everything. A white woman, alcohol, a little bit of weed, it's over. Rob you for everything you got. You won't know what's going on. Your family, you won't even want to hang with your family no more. You having too much of a good time. You know, you be gone for months and months at a time away from your family. And you high and drunk every day. And then they put the drugs in your drink. And then they get you hooked on whatever they put in your drink. You ain't paying attention. You too high and drunk. You know? You too high and drunk. You don't know what they put in your drink. You don't even realize it. You having too much of a good time. You getting turned out. You having a good old time. And then a couple years go by, because you ain't gonna stay up there forever on top. That money ain't gonna keep coming in fast. Oh, no. That ain't gonna stay like that forever. That money slow down, they're gonna be looking to find the next sucker. And they're gonna get rid of you. And then then you gonna go broke. And you ain't got no you ain't gonna have no publishing. The accountant robbed you. The accountant that you got, he robbed you. The manager, he robbed you. The women that you're around, they robbed you. You know, shit happens all the time in business, especially in music business, because that's the devil's playground. If you don't know the game, hey, ain't nobody gonna help you out in that that world. Either you know better or you do better. If not, oh well, you know. That's why some of those people, man, when they go in that world, they don't come out unscathed or clean. They usually end up doped up, coked up, some in it, end up in jail or dead as hell. You know what I'm saying? Think about all these dead rappers. They don't come out of that shit, or they either end up in jail or dead. And made billions of dollars. When he died, he don't got no damn money. The family don't get the money. The family end up starving. Everything that guy made when he was making all this money for that big corporation, all that shit go back. The attorneys and judge end up splitting up everything. The state get involved because somehow he ain't got no will. That's what they claim anyway. He ain't got no will, or two wills show up. All of a sudden, he got two wills, you know, and then he ain't what? You know, he ain't got nobody on the will. So the shit end up in probate court. State basically take control of the shit. Then 5-10 years go by, and all of a sudden the attorneys and judges end up splitting up everything and taking all the money, all the publishing, whatever you got, they end up taking every goddamn thing and selling every goddamn thing. The family don't get nothing. if the family do get anything, it's gonna be crumbs left over. And the judge and attorneys get millions of dollars, just like they did to James Brown. Millions of dollars. The family gets nothing. That's some bullshit right there, man. And 9 times out of 10, the guy was high and drunk all the time, fucking with them hoes. Fucking with them hoes. And he's high all the time. He don't know what's going on. And shit, man. But shit wasn't like that back in the day. You didn't see, if you saw a man that was about his business, he always had a good woman on his side. Today, these dudes is marrying the hoes. They marrying the hoes. Have kids with them and every goddamn thing. Yeah, they have kids and married the hoes and everything. And all of a sudden, this motherfucker dies for no apparent reason. And you know what they always say when these dudes die? Oh, he was on drugs. Oh boy, that's always the story that they tell. He was on drugs. Everybody ain't on drugs, man. I know there's a drug epidemic out here. It's always been that way since the 80s and 90s. But everybody ain't on drugs, man. Some of these people are lying about a lot of these damn stories coming out, man. Everybody ain't what's another thing they always say? He's gay. He had HIV. Yeah, that's another one. They used to say that. They used to use that a lot in the early 2000s. He had HIV. And all of a sudden, the past couple years, they used to say he just passed out and had a heart attack all of a sudden. I'm like, what? What? Yeah, he just passed out, had a heart attack. And check this out. When they did the autopsy, I don't know what happened. Well, I don't know what happened, but I know he dead. What? I said, oh, okay. I know about this. I used to be in the military. I know how these things go. I said, okay. Okay. In the military, we call that a soft kill. They'll put shit in your drink. It's not, you can't detect it either. It's odorless. That's, yeah. Yes, it's doggy dog out here, man. It's a cold game out here. This is why you have to watch who you hang around. You have to watch who you hang around, man. It's a cold game. This is why you shouldn't be around anybody that ain't really fucking with you like that, if you know what I mean. You shouldn't be around anybody that's wishy-washy. Sometimes this, I ain't got time for you. Cut them people out of your life. Sometimes they're cool, sometimes they ain't, or they got all this bullshit that comes along with them. Cut them people out of your life. Because when shit get real, you don't got time to be around nobody that's like that. You don't know what they gonna do. They're gonna do some fuck shit. And you're gonna be wanting to kick their ass. So don't put yourself in a position like that. I've been around people that when shit happened to them, and the person that they was with had to sign papers, and the decision was on them to pull the plug or keep the person on the machine. you know, all kind of fuck shit, man. You don't want nobody around you that ain't really down with you. That don't really care about you. Get rid of them damn people. And we know who's really down with us and who ain't. We know it. You don't even got to talk about it. What's understood don't have to be talked about. We know who's down with us and who ain't. Whether it's family, friends, or some chick you just met a couple months ago or a couple years ago. We know who's really down with us when shit hit the fan. You know what I'm saying? We know. We know. We might be in denial, but we know. We know who got our backs when shit hit the fan. Some of us have to learn the hard way, but we know. You know? What up, Maurice? I can't tell the truth, James. Hell yeah, that shit happened to James Brown. Took all the niggas publishing. Just robbing and stealing, man. You have a person claiming to be their kid, wanting some of the dead person's money, probably a kid from the white girl. Yeah. I think James Brown got married to some white woman after a couple years back. Earning over his estate pimp, James Brown. Oh, yeah. That shit happened to Prince. Same thing happened to Prince, happened to James Brown. Basically. Happened to Michael Jackson, too. And it's the same scam over and over and over again. You know? Now, you want me to believe that somehow Michael Jackson, Prince, and James Brown didn't have a will. There's no way in hell, man. No. There's no way. There's no way, man. They pull out 2 wills on Michael Jackson estate. They pull out 2 wills on Michael Jackson estate, yo. And by law, the second will, or the most updated will, is the one they have to follow. Well, all of a sudden, this will came out of nowhere. You got a lot of these people have shady people around them on their team, man. The Hoaz is shady, the handlers is shady, the attorneys is shady, the managers is shady, everybody's shady around them, man. You know? And a lot of these people online, they have the same mentality. That's what I'm talking about. You have the same mentality, man. You know? It happened to Sammy Davis Jr. also, but he supposedly owned a lot of taxes, so the government took money. It took most of his money. Yeah, I'd be thinking that's cap. Yeah, I hear a lot of that too. They say, oh, you owe taxes. Everybody owes taxes. Motherfucker, you pay that shit at the end of the year. Look, and most of their taxes, they get that shit written off. Unless the shady accountant or CPN did some shady shit, which that happens a lot too. Because the damn accountant don't pay the damn taxes, don't pay the damn bills like he's supposed to. And they get robbed by them all the time. That's why you have a lot of these guys, well, not a lot of these guys, a handful of these guys got to go to prison. You got to go to prison because they ain't paying taxes. You got to do some time. Man, you crazy? They say, well, your CPN shouldn't be responsible for you not paying your taxes. I hired that motherfucker though. Well, it's your responsibility. Yeah, I know it's my responsibility, but I still hired that motherfucker. How come, how come he get off scot-free, but I don't? And see, that's the bullshit that I'm talking about. You know? Yeah, anybody want to come on, let's talk about it. That's the bullshit that I'm talking about. You got these guys, you hire these shady cats, and they shit on you, screw you over, and now you got to do the time for them because they robbed you. You know? It happens all the time, man. Now, most people don't go to prison for it, though. That's the thing. You know, you got these entertainers, they send them motherfuckers to prison, bro. They be locked the fuck up. Now, let me tell you something that I've noticed. If you're making these big corporations a lot of money, they're not sending you to prison if you're making them a lot of money. See, that's the game. If you're making them tons of money, millions of dollars every year, you ain't going to prison. You know, you can do a murder. You can commit a murder. You might have a murder case. You ain't going to prison if you're making them millions of dollars. No, I've noticed that shit. They'll get somebody else to be the fall guy, you know, in your case. If you ain't, you know, you ain't going to prison. You making them millions of dollars and shit. I don't know. You know? That's how it is. It's a lot of politics, man, when it comes to a lot of these cases. You know? A lot of things that happen behind the scene, man. Everything is not what it seems like on the surface. Unfortunately. You know? That's why a lot of stuff that people say online, I don't really pay attention to it because I know most of the time it's bullshit. I know most of the time it's bullshit. But people, they say what people want to hear or just to get people off or whatever, grab their attention or whatever. But the women that are doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're not fucking with the internet like that. They don't want nothing to do with the internet. The women that I know, they don't want nothing to do with the internet because they know it's some bullshit. And plus, they're gonna use the job that they work or use the internet against them, get them fired and shit. So they don't want to take the chance, and I understand. You know, you got some people who I know, they don't even have a Facebook, man. They don't have no Facebook, no Twitter, damn sure no YouTube. Because their job is looking for a reason to get rid of their ass. Especially if they've been working that job for a long time. Especially. So a lot of women that I know don't want to give no ammunition to none of these jobs. No reason whatsoever to use anything against them to get fired. So I understand, you know. I understand. I respect that. I respect that. You know. But you know, that's pretty much. Hey, don't forget to check out the Patreon and the Love Can't Wait podcast. And don't forget to check out the gear. I actually have it on. Like right now. It's right here, baby. If you go to my matter of fact, if you go to my YouTube and click on the store tab, Matter of fact, I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna open it up real quick. Oh, hold on. Go to my, yeah. I'm gonna open this shit up real quick. If you go to my YouTube, click on the store tab. There it is. You know what I'm saying? It's my favorite right here. There it is. Get yours. I like black. We got red, black, you know, blue. I like black better than anything else. The black and blue comes out the best than anything else. You know what I'm saying? So, oh yeah, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Go check that thing out. You dig? You know? So hey, that's about all I want to talk about tonight, man. You know, I got somewhere to go. I didn't plan on staying on that long. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, check out my books, check out the gear and all that good stuff. And check out the podcast. I did an interview, I put an interview up like 2 days ago. A lot of people thought it was interesting. You know, but it's all good, you know. It's all good. So, hey, man. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.
All right. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Hair from Cali, I live in the valley. Then you look sexy. All right. Just got the call, it's going down tonight. It's a lot of goodbyes here tonight. But then I saw the sky and that I like. Hair from Cali, I live in the valley.